Alright boys, welcome back to another video. Daily Colts here. We're going to be reacting to the 24-6 loss against the Detroit Lions. This is just the perfect score that shows how the game went. We only kicked 2 early field goals and nothing in the second half. Anthony Richardson played well though. Statistically speaking, not the best. 61 rushing yards is great. 172 passing yards and 11 to 28 is not. Didn't take a sack, which pretty much every quarterback other than him, and I would say Josh Allen probably would have taken a couple of sacks in this one, but Richardson just being able to withstand even a 320, 330 defensive pound defensive lineman, he was able to throw the ball away or escape. Did have that tough grounding one, but this game, what it came down to was just the front. Our offensive line was terrible in this one. They got dominated. We weren't able to run the ball. Richardson was under pressure. And when he did make plays out of the pocket, it was a hold, or it was a receiver out of bounds catching it, or it was Drew Ogletree dropping a wide open tight end. It's just frustrating because I think the Lions are the best team in football. Like I said, I didn't expect the Colts necessarily to win this. Thought they'd have a chance. And we had a chance because the defense played well. You have to remember, we gave up 24. The Lions averaged about 33 on the season, but that was with our defense having to be on the field essentially this whole game. We lost time of possession, as we have all season. I think we're actually the worst or the second worst in terms of that. But just, yeah, I'm looking at Tua right now, threw for 317, 4 touchdowns. I needed to win this fantasy week to keep my playoff hopes alive. I went with Richardson over Tua just because I believe in him, and it wasn't his fault, man. It's like I said, it's nothing else I can say besides it's frustrating. But Pittman finally had that game we've been looking for, 6 for 96. Outside of that, though, nothing. Alec Pierce, 1 for 39. Josh Downs, 3 for 27. Hurt his shoulder, came out late in this one. I was gonna say he kind of tapped out. He did tap out, of course, because he was hurt, but that's probably not the words to use right now. Before Adonai Mitchell had a catch for 10 yards, ran the wrong route on another ball. Richardson and him were not on the same page. That's why Mitchell hasn't really done much this year. It's just he doesn't know the playbook, and he hasn't gotten up to speed quick enough. Our tight ends didn't have a catch in this game. We have the worst tight end group in all of football. The Broncos, I would say, do, but their tight ends actually of late have been getting going. I'm watching them right now because for Colts fans, we need them to lose to get that 7th seed. And I mean, if they win today, they've got the Browns next week. I mean, they're going to be off to a big lead against us because they're right now 6-5. If they go to 8-5 and play us, I mean, we do have the Patriots next, and we've got the Titans and Jags sort of lurking. The Giants, teams I think will beat, but we're running out of time, man. We're gonna basically have to win out. I don't think we can lose another game this season. So we have what I said, 6 losses. Yeah, we have 7 losses, right? Where's our record? Like, why would it not show? Okay, we have 7 losses. So yeah, I mean, if we lose one more game and win the rest, that's 9-8. I don't think 9-8 will make the playoffs unless we beat Denver, because I think Denver might finish 9-8. They've got the Chargers, Chiefs, and Bengals late in the season, which is great for us. But guys, there's no room for error right now. I would have loved to beat the Lions because at that point we're talking about being 500 and having that soft schedule. We're gonna have to go into Denver too, which is a tough place. But the season's alive, man. I mean, we still got 5 games left to play, but just we've had some bad stretches, man. 3 straight: Texans, Vikings, Bills. We have put together 2 wins in a row this year, but nothing more than that. It's going to take a lot more than 2 wins in a row to be able to make the playoffs. But this season, yeah, the playoffs would have been great, but it was more so about just the development of Anthony Richardson and making sure that he's able to stay healthy and grow. And even though there was a setback to where he, of course, got benched for a couple of games, but ever since he came back against the Jets, he played well. I thought he played extremely well against a tough Lions defense that hasn't given up anything against quarterbacks this year. There's not been a quarterback this season that's lit up the Lions, and Richardson didn't light them up, but he had a chance to. He probably had, I would say, $150 to 200 yards taken away due to drops or just a guy stepping out of bounds or holds. So that's got to get cleaned up. But no Ryan Kelly, no Will Fries, no Bernard Ryman. So we're starting Dalton Tucker, Tanner Bernardini, who's actually played well, and then, of course, Matt Goncalves, and they just did not bring it today. It's as simple as that, guys. So it's frustrating. There's really no other way around it. I wanted this one for sure, but you got to set realistic expectations. The Lions, I mean, they're averaging 33 a game. Defensively, they're playing stout, so this would have been a tough one. But honestly, I don't like to overreact after losses. I think Shane Steichen should remain our head coach. I do believe in him. He hasn't called the best games this season, but I think overall he'll be fine. But I'm looking at Chris Ballard and saying that, did he put enough talent around this roster to be able to compete? Because right now, we don't have that, man. The defense did play well, but I just think that Ballard should have been a little bit more aggressive. I know he had to spend the majority of the team's money on our own players and re-signing them, like D Buck and Kenny Moore and these guys and Julian Blackmon, but there's just something about Ballard to where I don't think he's done enough at tight end. In terms of our secondary, Jalen Jones has been playing well. Blackmon bringing him back. Kenny Moore the second obviously gets paid. There's something missing, man. I feel like there's just a couple of pieces missing to this team to where we'd be in a much better spot because all our games have been close. We did lose this one by 3 scores technically, but the Bills game we did lose by 10. But other than that, every game was 1 possession. So let me know your guys' thoughts on that. But overall, yeah, I'm just trying to make more Colts videos. I'm a Colts fan. I have been my whole life, and been doing a lot of losing this season. So we just haven't been able to consistently put anything together. But in terms of our offense, we've got to get it going, man. It starts up front. We've been getting beat lately up there. And Jonathan Taylor, guys, had, well, I think it was under 3.5 yards per carry. Yeah, JT just 11 for 35, which is 3.2. JT has not been able to get going. He's the best player on our offense without question. It's not even debatable. And it starts with him. And it just puts a lot of pressure on Richardson when we're not able to get him the ball. And you have to remember as well that, how many yards? 14 of those 35 yards came on one run. That was the one where I believe where it was a third and 20, and he came a little bit short. So yeah, but guys, to be honest, it's just frustrating. 5-7, it's not that bad. The Broncos definitely have to root for them to lose today against the Raiders, and then they've got the Browns, and then we've got them after that. So, but guys, let's be real here. We've got to win out. We've got to win out. 9-8, you're asking for help. You never want to ask for help when it comes to making the playoffs. So the best thing the Colts can do is win out, because if you go 10-7, you're probably making the playoffs. Yeah, like I don't see a world where you don't make the 7th seed in the AFC. And the Colts, like, they do play against 2 divisional teams, so we can't just discredit that. They do have to take on Denver at Denver. At New England's not going to be an easy game with the way Drake May's playing, even though they got blown out today, but still. And the Giants at New York, but again, big difference. Last time we went to MetLife, the Giants made the playoffs that season. This time they're completely tanking for Shedeur Sanders. Is looking like at least some sort of top QB prospect. But yeah, to be honest, I don't know. I don't really know what else to say, man. It's just one of those games where you don't really, like, I don't mind losing it. It's just how you lose it. Penalties, including holding, grounding, having an illegal man downfield, Quentin Nelson, that really wasn't his fault because you don't even know where Richard is at the point, so you're thinking you're just blocking quick pass or maybe a run or something like that. But just Ashton Dulin ends up catching the ball out of bounds. Drew Ogletree, what happens with him? He drops a wide open touchdown pass. It just sort of was deflating. I mean, we'll never know if the Colts would have won, but just plays like that, you don't get very many red zone chances against the Lions, guys. They do not give up touchdowns. So the fact that we had one drop, we had a penalty where our first drive of the game, we were marching down, putting together one of our best drives of the year. We've got to be better. But again, we play a lot of bad teams coming up. So there's a huge opportunity for us to get back on track. But to this point, it just got to be about winning each game in front of you. We can't really be thinking about the playoffs. I do that because I'm a fan and it's my job. But in terms of the Colts, they just got to take this one game at a time and be ready for New England, because we cannot come out slow any of these games. It doesn't matter who you're playing. Even if they're tanking, like playing for the draft, you have to come out strong